Hey guys, welcome to a badly lit corner of the workshop. I'm endeavoring to do a little bit of organization in this corner because, one, I acquired a new item, and two, I'm making terrible use of this space. That's got to change. This is my workbench proper, and I've got my test equipment up there, and then there's this awkward space here. When I built the workbench, I threw up a shelf and I put some Philco radios in various states in this corner. It's the first antique radio I ever got, a Philco 3810 fully restored. That's a bullet, a bigger bullet Philco radio that's almost done, just needs a new grill cloth basically. And these are battery operated sets that need a lot of help. Nice to look at, but with them buried in this corner, I can't get at them readily or work on them or plug them in and enjoy them, so what's the sense in that? So I'm going to get them out, probably bring them upstairs. Got this TV here that is almost completely done. Then we moved, and it got stuck here in the corner. It's been sitting there for ages. I want to pull it out, probably bring it upstairs, finish it, try to sell it. Leftover part from a Predicta, no reason for that to be here, taking up valuable space. And I also want to get access to this shelving system over here where I have some display items and some various odds and ends, spare parts, and, well, a curious pup right now. So I want to free up this space. And what I really want to do is that I just recently got an RCA color test jig. I want to put it right here. Perfect spot for it, because all the stuff I need to get at is on the right side. The high voltage meter, the two plugs for it, and the various test leads are all on this edge of it. And I think it might, if it doesn't fit underneath that shelf, that's fine with that bracket. I can just take that shelf off the wall. It doesn't need to be there. And then on top of it, I might just put these right on top of it. I have a couple of these Telecheck black and white test jigs. This one's stock. I have a second one I modified for Predicta TVs. I want to put all that stuff in this space, make much better use of it, get this out of here, allow me much better access to these shelves where I can make much better use of them and put useful bits of equipment over there. I want to talk a little bit about the workbench, the main area. So of course you've seen me use the Suncor VG91 and TVA92 many times, the PR57, that stuff can stay there. I have put my HP 8662A into service, which is a combination, well, it's an RF generator, sleep generator, does all kinds of amazing, fantastic things. I pulled my other RF generators that used to be here out, and they're underneath the workbench in case I do need them. They're handy. There's my lovely Tektronix 2565B with option 5 for TV. And above that, I have a sleep function generator hiding behind Svengoolie. That stuff I'm not quite so sure about, because with the 8662 and the scope, I can do alignments, and I don't really need that. The WaveTech 1901 XY monitor is lovely for alignments. It's a nice big display. On top of it, I have a sleep generator, but it's really redundant with this guy. And then the lovely Hewlett-Packard high precision bench multimeter. So I want to kind of condense, rearrange, rethink this stuff a little bit. But the main goal today is to remove this stuff and get the test jigs up here. So let's get to it. Wow, that worked out even better than I expected. In fact, I don't need to move much of anything. I forgot that there's a bump out on the back, so it sticks out a bit from the wall, so yeah, there's plenty of clearance underneath that shelf bracket. And there we go. So that's what I meant about all the business stuff is on this side of it, and the rest can just go off to the side. And as one of you mentioned, that the CRTs they use in these are reject from productions, or their special runs, so it says test tube etched right into the glass. I just gave it a bit of a cleaning. It was quite filthy. But yeah, there we go. There we go. A nice new addition to the workbench. It's like that spot was just made for it. And of course, it doesn't need to get plugged in because it takes all its power from the set you're working on, so I don't need to plug anything into the back, which is extra nice. Now, when I got this, I mused over the various cables or lack thereof. Well, I got a much better handle on it thanks to Shango and a little bit of searching online. I know what I need, and I've slowly been starting to get some of it. This just arrived today. It's an extension cable. This will plug into this side of things. I do believe I can get a finagle it in there. There we go. And on the other end, it's supposed to have an octal plug. This is just an extension, and normally you would plug it into the cable that would have come with this, and I didn't get that, but I think this might be right, or it's something very similar to that. This is for the yoke. It has an octal plug on the end. These are the color roundies. I need a yoke adapter, a CRT adapter, although I think there was one in the stuff I got that would serve. I need the cable that plugs in there that goes to the CRT. I did find the high voltage cable that's been cut off here, and that's going to arrive shortly. And then there's a convergence adapter thing, which is basically just a plastic shell with some resistors inside of it. I could probably make my own if I really need to. That's for that, and then I'll need to track down stuff if I want to use it with the Motorola rectangular set I have. But yeah, we are on our way. And you know what? I think this jig might fit right up there. Ooh. There we go, perfect. Perfect. My other tally check is buried somewhere in the other end of the basement. I'll dig it out in a bit. Let's talk a little bit more about this test jig before we wrap up this video. For starters, I forgot that there were earlier test jigs, in particular this guy, and that was meant to work with the roundies, and it has the convergence on the side, so you can do dynamic convergence with it. I think I've seen one of those at the museum, but I haven't seen one of those for sale in quite a while, and then I think that's an earlier incarnation of the one that I have, which is from 1972. Now I went onto eBay and been hunting around. For one, this is the manual that I got with it. This is what it should have shipped with, which are the cables that plug into the front, a couple adapters, and a high voltage thing. Now this is that high voltage cable, which I did order. Should be here shortly. Interesting the way it works, in that it has a cup on it, and that's what you snap the high voltage lead of the chassis into. And then this goes into your color test rig. And this is the yoke adapter for some of the early color roundies, which leaves me with the convergence thingy and the CRT adapter. This is what the CRT adapter looked like. I think I can get by with something that came with mine. It's not the official RCA one, but it just goes from the type of base that's on the CRT that's inside of it to the type of base that would come on a roundie. And finally, this is the convergence adapter. That's that octal plug I was talking about for the yoke, and I believe there's just some resistors inside there. 10J604 is the model. So that's the stuff I'm still looking for. So it'll be an interesting adventure to rig this up and start using it on future projects. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.